been talking about this, since I think the last time we played, and even when Coach Shaw was here. Coach Shaw didn't like to play an exhibition game every year. He thought it would lose its luster, I think is the phrase he used. But ever since his passing, Rusty and I have talked about it, and I appreciate him doing this. I know it's a hard with the difference in the levels, and he's got a couple guys out, we got a couple guys out, but this is a little bit something more than just about basketball. It's about a special man's life. I talk about him and I talk about Coach Waltman an awful lot, and I just feel very, very lucky to have had both those guys in my life, and I'm glad we could do this and recognize him as well as Matt Luking. It's a terrible tragedy in Terre Haute, and we miss him, and we lost another good Sycamore, but it was good that sometimes there's more important things than the scoreboard, the score on the scoreboard, so I'm glad we did it tonight.
Questions?
Greg came out pretty determined, obviously, and just talk about your defensive mindset first of all. It's probably about what you hope to see.
They do such a good job with the screening and cutting. It's a little bit like maybe an Evansville would do, and Rusty puts them together pretty well. We wanted to use our athleticism a little bit and make it harder and try to take some different things away. And the initial group, we played bigger tonight, starting those seniors out there, so we played a little bigger. But I thought we did a pretty good job for the most part of communication, making it difficult for them, and that's what we wanted to do, because again, they are a good offensive team. But Todd, I mean, we harp on the defensive stuff, and we just kind of were talking about in every huddle that every 4 minutes was 4 minutes of practice in our shell drill. We're working on this right now, and for the most part, guys did a good job.
Your younger group, and I include some guys that they even played last year, their first time around they struggled a little bit. Had some fouls, had some trouble defending. But after that, when they rotated back into the game from that point onward, they played pretty determined. The improvement that they showed, and granted the score by then was out of hand, and it's easy to kind of perform that way. But still, I mean, that's encouraging to see that they didn't slip back into any bad habits.
I think it was a little bit nerves and anxiety too. All those guys, a lot of times it's their first time in there, and even the pace of the game. We're talking about this and trying to get you can talk till you're blue in the face about getting ready to play, but that's their first time stepping on a floor in a Division I for a Division I team in an actual game. So you're right that we had a little bit of deer in the headlights, a little bit slow paced, standing around. The game kind of lulled there for a second, but they were all much better the next time that they came through. There's a lot of good things we can take from tonight. The new guys all contributed, did something good, and playing without Q and playing without Trey. I thought everybody gave us a little something, and you're gonna have to put 40 minutes. I mean, we next Friday, a week from tomorrow, we got a very, very difficult opponent to get ready for, and it's going to take us a good week of practice to get ready for them.
I know Trey has a concussion. What's Q's?
Q was just more precautionary. I think he had tape on his thumb. He's got a little bit of a groin, and we just thought it'd be best to hold him out. We thought with depth and stuff, and you don't need to. He did that the same. I think he's got a couple guys that are a little banged up and a little hurt, and we talked about it this week and said, well, I'll probably hold my guys out. He said he'd probably hold his guys again. Q, if we're in a regular game, Q would play.
Coach, talk about just how happy you were to see PJ and Bronson both out there tonight performing as well as they did.
Yeah, I was real happy to see that, and these guys, I give Sean Rogers, our trainer, a lot of credit too. That's a lot of time those two were spending with him, and since their injuries, I don't see it. They're in that training room, they're working, they're doing the rehab. He would update me every day, and those guys were always really good teammates when they're around us. They're with us all the time. It's been a long time since Bronson's done something. TJ's been here and helped us win some games, but Bronson hasn't been out there yet. They'd have both helped us last year. Losing TJ, he probably been our starter last year, so that really hurt our depth and threw Amandre and Big Murph to the wolves a little bit. But so happy to see him out there, and then Bronson cramps up a little bit. I think he was really burning some fuel in there, so he cramped up a little bit. But both good basketball players, both should help us this year.
Greg, what was it like to have Nate Green officiate one of your games? I know how close.
Dang, the only bad thing about the game was we couldn't get a call.
Yeah, I know how close you guys have been over the years. That had to be.
It also, when you look back there and you see old Bender in the background too, so it's great to see him over on the sidelines. He's a lot smarter than wanting to coach. He wants to be like an Ace Hunt, or one of those guys. But I'm so proud of Nate. I mean, Nate, what he's done is I think he's the second best player to ever play here, and then to be a big-time official, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the NBA before too long. But I think he's a great official. He's got great temperament for it. So Rusty kind of laughed before. I thought maybe we'd get some home cooking, but I told Nate we shot it so fast we didn't even have a chance to call any fouls.
Any other questions?
Anybody?
Coach,
Thank you, guys.